Hello, good people of YouTube. Sealord here, and well, fellas, if you thought yesterday's installment of just what the heck are they smoking was something, we've got something even wilder in today's installment of said series. So, apparently, we are getting a Pan-American battleship that's, had a little bit too much crank, and we're going to get to that here in a moment. Now, before we go any further, this is from the Russian DevBlog. Now, I know a lot of you can say, "Oh, well, Sealord, it's the Russian client. We're on a completely different thing." Well, it turns out actually we're not. As we saw with the last update, there were some changes that were announced only on the Russian DevBlog, and they did wind up making their way into our game. And this is talking about a premium ship. Every single premium ship that one client has got, the other client has received as well. Like the Karl Johan, the Russian client got that. And with, of course, the Shield, they've received that as well. So, despite there being two different clients, a lot does apparently make it across the border, shall we say. So there's a very good chance that we are probably going to be getting this ship in the future. Plus, there's some very interesting information here on the Japanese support carriers returning. But you can check out the timeline down below for the relative part of the video you wish to watch. So, if you want to read along as I read aloud, link to this will be in the description down below. Make sure you got your translator on, because this is, again, from the Russian client from Lesta, and it is in Russian. So, if something sounds a little bit goofy, it's because Google Translate is making it sound goofy. If you do find this video informational or entertaining, make sure you drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Helps out on the YouTube side of things. So let's get on into it. They say closed testing 12.10 new ships for testing a second batch of Japanese aircraft carriers, and the Pan-American Tier 9 battleship Patagonia have been added to the game for testing. At the upcoming closed testing session, a branch of Japanese aircraft carriers will be added to the game. These will be 3 ships that were previously removed from the game: Zuiho, Hiryu, and Taiho. They will be located at tiers 6, 8, and 10 respectively. The main feature is the presence of a new type of squadron, mine-laying squadrons. They will be able to lay minefields as well as cover their allies with smoke using the aviation smoke generator. You can read more about the updated mechanics of the mines and related changes in the development blog. Please note that the results of the closed test show that the excessive effectiveness of depth charges and avia strikes against minefields. In this regard, we want to test disabling the ability to destroy mines. We will closely monitor the statistics and, if necessary, make changes to the mine mechanics, assuming they mean the depth charge airstrikes. Each mine does not cause the most damage, but has a high chance of causing flooding. The mines inside the field are located unevenly. Their density is higher, closer to the center of the field. This will allow ships caught on its edge to change course relatively safely and avoid taking major damage. You can detect mines using, I guess that's hydroacoustic search, GAP. Other squadrons available to them are attack aircraft with HE missiles and bombers armed with HE bombs and carrying out carpet bombing. Attack aircraft missiles do less damage and have less armor penetration compared to existing Japanese aircraft carriers, but the number of missiles on each aircraft is higher and the firing time of the machine guns before an attack is lower. Bombers carry a large number of bombs, which make their use easier and more convenient. So I wonder if, like, Lesta's tackling the Japanese carriers and Wargaming's tackling the American support carriers and testing them both out respectively. That seems to be what's going on here. It's also very funny that the Japanese now have the airdropped mines instead of the Americans having the airdropped mines like was originally put forth in testing. But that's what's going on with the Japanese carriers so far, at least according to the Russian DevBlog. Again, I believe they're pretty much working together, just unofficially, shall we say. But let's go ahead and talk about the Patagonia, the Tier 9 Pan-American chunky battleship that is a little goofy, to say the least. So it's a Kansas, at least it looks like that from the model, but wait till we get into it, fellas. So they say Patagonia has a large number of main battery guns, allowing it to deal a lot of damage per salvo. The guns have low accuracy, but the ship's excellent camouflage, I believe that means concealment, allows you to get close to the enemy and be the first to fire a salvo, catching the enemy by surprise. The ship has a low speed, so if necessary, you should also rely on concealment to get out of the battle. The repair division's repair party will help restore a significant portion of the damage received. Due to Patagonia's weak air defense, it is worth staying close to the Allies in order to have protection from aircraft. The equipment is represented by the already mentioned repair party, as well as a fighter or spotter in the same slot. So it's a stealthy Kansas with way less accuracy, apparently. And the stats they provide are absolutely ridiculous. So what's also funny is that these ships are huge. If you've never seen a Kansas or like a Vermont in game, the ships are massive, right? So this thing has, well, let's just go through the stats, shall we? The concealment is goofy. So 67,000 hit points. It does have 32 millimeters of armor, thankfully. And you get the 4x3 406s that the Kansas gets, a 20.6 kilometer range. The AP shells do 13,500 maximum damage. They come with the tubes at 762 meters a second. So it still sounds like it's the American Mark 8 Super Heavy AP. So that's good. That's quite a bit of punch with a 36-second reload time still. So we still have a longer reload there, which is concerning. But a Sigma of 1.7, that's not great. I believe they're going to have to either raise that Sigma up or take that reload down. Because 12/16s at Tier 9, yes, it is a lot. But I don't think it's enough to justify a 36-second reload and a 1.7 Sigma. Granted, you can, of course, take the reload module if you wish, or the dispersion module if you want to kind of rein into the dispersion. And I'm guessing since this is supposed to be more of a close-in battleship, we'll probably see more players taking the reload module. That'll get that 36-second reload down to like 31, 32, I believe. So, here's the really goofy stuff, alright? So, the concealment, the base concealment is 14.1 kilometers. 14.1. With the commander skill in the module, you're going to be able to get that down to around 11.2 kilometers. 11.2 on a Kansas clone. That is goofy. 11.2 kilometers with 12 16-inch guns at Tier 9. That is stealthier than most cruisers at Tier 9, let alone battleships. So what's also interesting too is that they don't really mention the range of the secondaries. Apparently you get 16 of the 133 millimeter secondary guns with a 7 kilometer range, 8% fire chance, 1900 maximum HE damage, but they don't mention the reload time. Now, 7 kilometer range at Tier 9 is about right. So you could build into them, probably get them out to, what, 10 and change? Which is, well, again, not that far off from what your concealment is. So you might have the potential to build into a bit of a goofy secondary battleship here. It is also very interesting that they have the 133 millimeter secondaries and not the 127. So you get British secondaries on an American battleship hull, which is weird. So yeah, now I mean, with the history of, you know, the South American dreadnought race and such, it does make sense that, you know, it has some British aspects to it, but it's still an American battleship. Yeah. Which is weird because America wasn't too keen on spurring on the South American naval arms race, really, in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Now, apparently, according to the lore, it's like America ordered the ship and then didn't finish it and then sold it to Argentina or Brazil or something like that, and then they finished it with assistance, apparently Argentina, with the assistance of the British, or they ordered it from the Americans, or whatever, and they retrofitted it with 133s. That seems to be the vibe that they're going for here. So, yeah, it seems to me that since they gave it the 133s instead of the 127s, they might be leaning more towards, maybe a secondary build, since, again, you have 11.2 kilometer detect. You could get the secondaries out to, a little over 10 kilometers. So basically, when you're detected, you're now in the face of somebody with a Fatal ship with 12 16-inch guns, and then the secondaries to back it up. So, yeah, that's going to depend a lot on the pins that they wind up giving the 133s and the reload time of the 133s. I do think you're probably going to have to build into survivability, because the ship is massive, and as we know, the Kansas already gets farmed down pretty easily in game. So if you are, running a ship like this as a close-in brawler, yeah. Now the repair party, it runs for 20 seconds, 1340 HP per second, so an improved repair for sure. 80-second reload time, 3 charges base. So, yeah, good heal. So this ship is it's something, all right. I would expect this is probably going to be announced either on like a stream or in a DevBlog here pretty soon, since it's been announced in the Russian one. If this doesn't come to our client, it's going to be the first premium that hasn't crossed clients in a I think ever since the split. Now, there's been a couple of event ships that are just kind of, copy pasta ships that the Russian clients got that we haven't got. So there is that. But beyond that, I believe every single premium that that has been announced on one client has eventually made it to the other client. So we are probably getting this ship. It's so goofy and stupid. I'm looking forward to it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you're excited for this ship, you think it's just completely ridiculous, or whatever you think about it, let me know in the comments down below. Hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday and wonderful weekend. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.